renovated Boardwalk Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey for another edition of World Championship Boxing. Tonight, future Hall of Famer Evander Holyfield takes on fellow former heavyweight champ Hasim Rahman in a matchup critical to the careers of both men. With heavyweights dominating the boxing news these days, we bring you a compelling crossroads matchup between two of the division's biggest names this side of Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson. The incomparable Evander Holyfield, now 39 years old, tries to keep alive his dream of again winning the undisputed heavyweight title in a bout against a dangerous and equally desperate former champ, Hasim Rahman, who, like Holyfield, looks to punch his way back into the title picture. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Atlantic City for this special night on World Championship Boxing. Already you've enjoyed the 30-minute countdown to Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson next week in Memphis. This is a pivotal month in the heavyweight division. Tonight, as the stakes have already been articulated here, Hasim Rahman against Evander Holyfield here in Atlantic City. One man will move forward, one man will step further back. Next week, Lewis against Tyson. There's already been a lot said, and much more will be said in the next 7 days for sure before we're there in Memphis next Saturday night, live pay-per-view. And then on the 29th of this month, back here in Atlantic City, rapidly rising top contender, regarded by many as the heir apparent to the title, Vladimir Klitschko of the Ukraine will face his toughest test so far in the person of durable, tough American heavyweight Ray Mercer, a man who gave both Holyfield and Lewis all they could handle in his battles with them. So let's get it started with the expertise of two-time former heavyweight champion George Foreman. And George, 11 years ago on this same piece of turf, you fought against Evander Holyfield, who was regarded by at that time as too small to be a top-notch legitimate heavyweight. He'd already won the title. He showed his bravery against you. Could you have foreseen that 11 years later at 39 he'd still be around making a mark?
In the heavyweight division, you can almost bet on it. If you're a young champion, you're going to be an old contender sooner or later. Joe Louis fought more ex-heavyweight champion than anyone else in the world. Rocky Marciano, he came along and fighting Jersey Joe Walcott and all of them. If you stick around in the heavyweight division, you're going to see more ex-champions than anywhere in the world.
Geriatrics rewarded.
Yeah, here we go.
George, oldest heavyweight champ of all time. Well, it began for Evander Holyfield with the disappointment in Los Angeles in 1984 when, because of, in the eyes of many, an unwarranted disqualification, bronze suddenly turned to gold for the amateur star from Atlanta. And for Evander Holyfield, it's been an uphill fight ever since then. Earlier this week, he sat down with Larry Merchant to talk about his tumultuous career.
You've been in so many hard fights. You've had so many honors. You've made so much money. What drives you to keep boxing?
To be the champ, to be the best. And once I lost the title in 1992 to Red Bull, you know, I was gonna quit.
You were?
I was gonna quit, and but I realized that, you know, I wouldn't be the champ that I said I am if I quit. But in the chase of being the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world again, have allowed my career to come here to 2002.
Do you make any concession to time? Any concession to you can't do all the same things at 39 as you could at 29?
Well, I don't believe that. I believe that when there's nothing wrong, when there hadn't been an injury, you have taken care of your body, so you know what you can do. You know, I'm realistic about things. Some things I don't want to do no more.
What can't you do?
It was a lot easier when I was younger because I used to go out dancing all the time. And so dance was a part of my workout. I stayed on the dance for 3 to 4 hours. I love dancing, but it had a lot to do with the way I fought. You know, dance is all about rhythm. Boxing is about rhythm. It's about how do you make the adjustment and be in the perfect stance and let your hands go? How do you get back in the stance for defense? Now, because I don't go dance and stuff like that, I have to think and I have to approach myself. I need to get in a rhythm. And I have to remind myself.
If you don't win this fight, will you retire?
No, I will not retire. Because the only way I could lose this fight is for me not to go out and fight. And, you know, if it go to a decision, then the decision can go either way. And I will have to get back in line. If it means getting in line 2 or 3 more times, then I will get back in line.
So, in effect, you're saying, unless I get beaten up, I'm going to keep going.
Well, you know, I'm never ever going to get beat up. I may get caught with some shot, but I'm not going to get beat up. I never got beaten up. Red Bull, only person that came close to doing that, and because she's, you know, that was a fight that made me really like say, I don't know if I ever want to go back through that again.
Do you sense that people who have come to respect, admire, even love you as a prize fighter are concerned about you somehow? They don't want to see you get hurt?
I truly believe that people love me, and I know that people are very concerned. But they have to understand that I have to make a decision that's right for me. Because when it all comes down, you know, I'm going to have to pay the price if I don't make it. I'm going to pay the price if I do make it. And not this, but it's because this is what made me the man that I am.
17 years and counting, his professional career and ongoing triumph of the will. Larry, is Evander Holyfield delusional at this point to think that he can win back the heavyweight championship of the world?
Delusional but determined. And once upon a time, that was a potent mix for Evander Holyfield. Remember that epic 10th round in the first of the 3 fights with Bowe, when he was battered from pillar to post to pillar. And yet, by the middle of the round, he was doing the battering for Riddick Bowe. And when he was asked after the fight, how did it feel like when he was almost knocked out, what he said was, that's when I knew I had him. I had him where I wanted him. And that's pure Evander Holyfield, delusional but determined. And now, once again, he's being battered. Battered with the question, Evander, why don't you do the decent thing and go off peacefully into that good night of retirement? He has us where he wants us.
So now let's find out tonight if he's got Hasim Rahman where he wants him. And George, what about the choice by Rahman, coming off his devastating knockout loss against Lennox Lewis, to go up against the cagiest old rat in the barn?
I think this is a wise choice. Evidently, he's a good manager in mind. I don't know if he's got the best trainer available, but he's decided that, look, I'm going to beat the most famous, renowned boxer around. He knocks Evander Holyfield out. He's top of the heap again. Wise decision. Right time, right thing.
Exactly the reason why Rahman says he chose to take this fight. He wanted to be right back into the first sentence of consideration for the heavyweight championship. So let's start the countdown to the pageantry now. Tale of the tape between Holyfield and Rahman, and there is one fascinating number here. It's not the age, we know that. Holyfield 10 years older at 39. They're just about equal in height. A reach advantage of 4.5 inches for Rahman. But look at the weight at the bottom. Holyfield, a trim and slim 216. He's always been in great condition. Rahman fought Lewis in South Africa at 238 pounds. He fought Lewis in Las Vegas at 236 pounds. He fires trainer Adrian Davis, hires Bowie Fischer, who used to train Bernard Hopkins, and enters here at 224. He himself seemed shocked by how low that number is. Punch stat numbers, Larry.
These days. So you can see, Jim, that Holyfield throws fewer punches these days as a counterpuncher. Rahman is more active generally. Jabs. Rahman figures to throw more jabs under the tutelage of Bowie Fischer, and that's his key to victory.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Evander Holyfield Hasim Rahman fight is scheduled for 12 rounds, non-title, using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case a cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell at any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
All right, as you watch tonight, viewers, we ask you to log on to HBO.com/boxing. Cast your vote on what you think will be the outcome of next Saturday night's heavyweight championship battle between Lewis and Tyson. We'll give you the results at the conclusion of tonight's telecast. Also, our live trainer audio allows you to choose which trainer and cornerman you want to listen to during tonight's Evander Holyfield Hasim Rahman fight. And here comes The Rock. Rolling with The Rock!
He had a short and very happy reign as a heavyweight champion, being celebrated by his hometown of Baltimore and doing a lot of celebrating himself. But we have learned that he really was in great turmoil leading up to the rematch with a trainer he didn't speak to for a month and then didn't get a new trainer. And also he revealed to us that he actually fasted on the day of the fight for a Muslim religious holiday. Big mistakes.
His idea was that since he could eat after sundown on Ramadan, that he would have time to eat and prepare for the fight, which he did. But nevertheless, in the wake of the easy Lewis knockout, there were numerous questions about Rahman's state of mind coming into the fight, particularly when he revealed that he had been totally at odds with his trainer Adrian Davis prior to the fight. Rahman claims that he and Davis did not speak to each other in the 5 weeks leading to the fight. He says, in fact, that if he hadn't paid Davis in advance, he would have fired him and hired another trainer then. Now he's with Bowie Fischer, who trained Bernard Hopkins to his big victory over Felix Trinidad last year before splitting from Hopkins.
Bowie Fischer is an advocate of the manly art of self-defense. He wants Rahman to set up his big punches, not to just wing them. But is it a good idea to bring in a new trainer with new ideas just before an important fight?
Typical of many recent American heavyweight stars, Rahman came into the sport late from other experiences as a basketball and football player. And Holyfield says that's his weakness. He's still an amateur. He never learned all the things I learned in my lengthy amateur career.
Well, as Rahman put it, they were asking Holyfield whether he was going to retire before he had even put on gloves for the first time.
And the continuing life in the ring of Evander Holyfield. Look at that. 22 fights in his career against past or current champions. That refers not just to his fights in the heavyweight division, but also in the light heavyweight and the cruiserweight division as well. Fight in and fight out, the most consistently entertaining fighter in boxing over the course of the past 15 years.
In my view, Jim, he's been the best fighter in boxing over that time. I guess the question many of us ask ourselves is, why does a man with 9 children, a 55,000 square foot house with 12 bedrooms and 20 bathrooms still want to do this?
Because it's there.
Because he defines himself by this, as a prize fighter, on stage, challenging the best.
When you've spent your life proving you can do what others said you couldn't, it's hard to give it up. He was ebullient yesterday.